All right, let's talk about Green New Deal 2 and other stuff. Joining me now, the great Rick Perry, former Energy Secretary, former Texas Governor, my dear friend. Rick Perry, it's never ending. You're old enough to remember creeping socialism, and now both of us have watched galloping socialism, and here they go again. AOC and Markey have Green New Deal 2, and I can't wait for Joe Biden to endorse it. What do you think?
Well, it was said that socialism is a great way to do business until you run out of spending other people's money. So I was just reminded in your riff exactly that. Those people between the age of 5 and 65 that aren't going to qualify, you're going to pay for that. So I didn't think it could get any crazier, but at some point in time, America will come back to its senses, realize the track that they've been on is just not only not sustainable, but just out of the mainstream. Gen Xers are going to come back to the conservative Republican fold, I think, in a pretty hard way this next election cycle. That's my bet.
Well, that's a bet. That's a good bet. It's a big hope. But, I think about this, and I'm being kind of cynical today about this. I read this thing this morning, and I was going to say I couldn't believe my eyes, but I could believe my eyes. This is from AOC and Ed Markey. So it's the far left of the far left. I get that. But the thing is, Joe Biden buys into some of this stuff, maybe not all of it. Joe Biden made a pact with Bernie Sanders, remember, after the convention in 2020, but before the election. And basically, they pulled things together. So Joe Biden, governed as a socialist, not as the moderate that some people thought he would. And the other thing is, Rick, here you have Obama's, remember, the Affordable Care Act, which Republicans said was a socialist-oriented bill. We never repealed it. The GOP never repealed it. So, I feel like it's important to raise these risks, because they would use this to take over the healthcare industry, the pharmaceutical industry. Medicare will be completely government run and so forth. I don't know, maybe it is now. They'll take over the fossil fuel industry, right? I mean, that's what this is. This is just the regulatory state, central planning.
Yeah, I think you're correct in that. And what we need to keep in mind is, although the Green New Deal, I don't think it even got a vote in the Senate back when it was up. But that's not what this is really about. This is, let's just put the craziest, the most far out of touch ideas on the table out there. And if we just get half of them, think about how much further we pushed America to the left into socialism. And so, shame on the Republican Party for not coming in a hard way. And, they really need to be criticized, and greatly, if when they take back over the House, the Senate, and the presidency, that they don't come back in and really make big changes into these socialistic programs that are being jammed down the throat of the American people.
Yeah, it's all about nationalizing. It's all about nationalizing industries, using climate change, whatever. Rick Perry, the Saudis look like they're doing everything they can to screw America, damage America, hurt America, okay? Trying to stop prices from coming down. They and their allies, 4.6 million barrels a day. Now, the OPEC crowd does cheat and they lie, and maybe the Saudis do too. There's also another article, Rick, that the Saudis are now talking to the Venezuelans about cooperation, et cetera, et cetera. What do you make of all that?
We brought this on ourselves when you think about it, Larry. We had a really good working relationship with the Saudis. They were one of our best partners in that part of the world. And then when the Biden administration came in and basically went to war, certainly with a war of words against the Saudi government, and they looked around and went, wait a minute, who do we want to do business with? And now we see them over, doing projects with China. With the Iranians, you got these oil cuts. This is all in response to America basically telling Saudi Arabia to take a hike. And you know what? They looked at us and went, okay, great. If that's how you want to do business. And we will pay a price for that. And when you couple that with the messaging to the oil and gas industry that, hey, listen, we don't like you and we're going to do everything we can to shut you down. We were energy independent. We didn't need the Saudis. We didn't need anybody 4 years ago. But today, because of the Biden administration's policy, the war against fossil fuels, and quite frankly, war against allies around the world, we're paying the price. The piper has come, and we're paying the price to that piper today with Biden putting policies into place that are not good for America and not good for American allies.
Yes, sir. Rick Perry got it straight. We should be at 15 million barrels a day ourselves. Thank you, Rick. We appreciate it. Coming